it's Echo, and welcome to another video. As of recording this, Artfight is only 1 week away, and that means I am on such a time crunch to get all of my character sheets done. So join me as I break free from the shackles that is Artfight prep. And since there are so many newbies this year, I'd like to go into a little bit more detail about what prep is. And if you enjoy videos like this, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Now let's get into the speed paint. I've seen a lot of questions about specifically what Artfight prep is, and honestly it's very simple to explain. I'm just preparing all of my character sheets. Because the whole idea of Artfight is to draw OCs, I would like for people who attack me to have a very clear vision of who my characters are and what they look like. So all throughout June, I have been making these Artfight reference sheets of all of my characters, and I've recorded and posted most of them here on my YouTube channel. And if you're interested in watching those, I have a whole playlist on my channel dedicated to Artfight videos. But don't stress if you didn't make a bunch of really detailed character sheets, it's really optional and I promise you people will still attack you either way. Just for me personally, I knew I wanted to do this year because I really have no good detailed reference sheets of all of my characters. And even though I've done 5 of these so far, I'm still missing a couple characters, so I might still do those. I don't know. We'll see if I have the energy. But yeah, I decided to do 5 different character sheets because that's how many slots there are on this little thing that goes with Artfight. I made mine and posted it on Instagram. They have one for every team, so I think it's a really cute little thing to post on your socials. And if you're looking for this little template, you can find them on the Artfight page, or you could probably just Google them and they'll be there. And I've also seen some other people just make their own custom ones, so whatever you want to do is fine. Originally, I was planning on making a completely different video this week, but I really have no choice because all of these character sheets take me anywhere from 10 to 20 hours. So, this is what you guys are getting, and I'm just going to prepare you all for next month, July, all of July. I'm going to be posting weekly Artfight updates, so there are going to be 7 drawings. Okay, maybe not 7. I don't know how I'm going to be able to edit and draw at the same time, but we'll figure it out when we get there. But yeah, I'm going to be doing weekly Artfight updates with all of the attacks I do in the week because my plan, fingers crossed, is that I'm going to be doing at least 1 attack every day. I also did this last year, but I did not get through the whole month. I think I did like 17 or 18, and then I kind of lost some steam, but I'm really confident this year. So my goal is 31 attacks, because I think that's how many days are in the month, or 30. I don't know. I don't remember. And as always, if you guys have any more questions related to Artfight, please feel free to ask me them and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. I've had so much fun making content centered around Artfight this month, and I'm really excited going into next month as well. Okay, so now that we got all of that out of the way, let's talk about this character. I think I've shown her once on my channel, but I think I actually deleted that video. But anyways, this is Jade. She is a character I've had for a really long time, but I haven't really made a solid character sheet for her before. I have drew her here and there, but very rarely, so I am finally doing a full-fledged design on her. She is in the same storyline as some of my other characters that I've shown on here, Deja, Finian, and Marcel. I drew Marcel in my last video, so if you want to see her, go check that video out. But yeah, I'm still fleshing out the story, but the premise is that they are all college students in this small town in the Northwest Pacific area. And it's a kind of coming of age story where they're all figuring out who they are and who they want to be and what direction they want to go in their life. And there is this supernatural element that is kind of piled on top of all of that. And the main character, Finian, is kind of the one that sets this whole crazy thing in motion. Oh, and they're also in a band together called Forever Peachy, and the band is Jade, Finian, Deja, and Harvey, which I haven't drawn Harvey yet, but we'll get to her in the future, I'm sure. So let's talk about Jade specifically. Jade is 22 years old. She's also a single mother and a full-time student, and she's in a band, and she works part-time. There's a lot of stuff going on there, but she is in school to become an art therapist. Having her son really made her realize that she loves being a mother and she loves taking care of people, so she really wants to work more with children and help them through their struggles and stuff. As you can see, she's very grunge and alternative, and she has piercings and a bunch of tattoos, and I kind of wish I would have put her in a different outfit to kind of show her tattoos, because I imagine her to have this giant star tattoo that is kind of on her hips. And I had so much fun doing her character sheet because I feel like she is a very expressive person. She is very funny, but she's also surprisingly really shy and reserved when it comes to meeting new people. She's very skeptical and distrusting of a lot of people when she first meets them, but she's been working on that. I feel like she tries to be a lone wolf, but she's really not in a position to be a lone wolf, and her friend circle is kind of the rock of her world and keeps her centered and sane, especially with raising a baby. So yeah, that's a little bit about her. So now let's talk about the actual process. Specifically, this big portrait in the middle here, I hope you guys recognize this pose. This is an ode to that one Hayley Williams like iconic face that she does, and I felt like that fit Jade so perfectly. And I think when I post this on Instagram, I'm gonna put a Paramore song because it's just too perfect. Surprisingly, I think this piece is actually the one that I spent the least amount of time on, even though I feel like I rendered this way more than I rendered all the other ones. This one only took me about 11 hours, and the last one I did, I think I said took me like 21 hours. So I've improved so much, like even from just like last week when I did that one, I've gotten so much quicker, and it really blows my mind because I feel like this one looks so much more rendered than my other ones. I don't know, maybe I'm just going crazy. I had so much fun rendering on her makeup and also rendering her hair, especially her hair because it's like this really deep plum color, and then I include some kind of like fuchsia / pink highlights. I also think I did a really good job on the mouth, like specifically her teeth. Instead of just doing like the giant tooth block, I decided to add like the little pink parts of the gums, like these little pink triangles of the gums up top, and I really think that gives the illusion that there's multiple teeth there, and I really like how I did that. And I think that looks way better than just doing like the tooth block, and also looks way better and way less creepy than drawing each individual tooth, because like I'm just not a person who's capable of doing that. I also had a lot of fun drawing in all of the jewelry and all of the piercings, and I recently downloaded this jewelry brush pack, which it's a little difficult to use because every time I try and just like stamp the brush on for the necklace, it never lines up correctly. Like the brush is always like facing sideways. I hope that makes sense. Which I guess could be an easy fix if I wanted to create another layer, stamp it on that layer, and even though it's misaligned, I could just use like the select tool and just place it where I wanted it to be. But that's annoying. Like I wanted to stamp where I wanted to stamp, you know? So that was a little frustrating. So I ended up doing most of the jewelry by hand, except for the jewelry on the far right one. That one is all of the brushes. I had a little bit of a different process for this piece because normally I would go in, sketch everything, line everything, then color everything, but this time I decided to complete the portraits first and then go in, line the full bodies, color the full bodies. So it was a little bit of a different process, and maybe that's why it made it go a bit faster. I regret not making her taller in the full body because I feel like she looks a bit shorter than I wanted her to be. Like I wish I would have made her legs just a little bit longer, but I'm just gonna blame that on the size of my canvas. I really hate changing the size of my canvas unless I absolutely have to, because it kind of messes up the speed paint. Of course, I'm doing the same trick that I always do in all of my recent drawings, which is just paste a texture on top of the clothing and just render on top of that. And you know, it's kind of a staple now. Like I just have to do it. It just makes everything look so much better. For the background, I also wanted it to have some cool texture, just like in all of my other recent pieces. So I just find some cool patterns off of Pinterest, paste them into the back, and play around with the blending modes until I find something that I like. And figuring out the background color for this one was a little bit difficult. I wasn't sure if I should go for like a complementary color, contrasting color, but I think this like bluish green color works really well with the purples. Now let's get on to the reveal. This is the final piece. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. And again, if you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.